Let us start salt analysis. In the salt analysis, let us see confirmatory test. Confirmatory test for Cl minus. Confirmatory test for Cl minus. Now we will take sodium carbonate extract. We will take for Cl minus. Sodium carbonate extract we are preparing for confirmatory test. In this confirmatory test, first test we will see. First test is silver nitrate test. First one is silver nitrate test. For this, we will take sodium carbonate extract. We are taking sodium carbonate extract. Sodium carbonate extract contains the given anion Cl minus and excess carbonate. Cl minus is there and carbonate is there. Sir. Now we will remove carbonate. First we will remove carbonate by adding dilute acid. We will remove carbonate by adding dilute acid. Then we will go for a Cl minus test. Okay. To remove carbonate, we have to add dilute acid. Which dilute acid shall we add? Which dilute acid shall we add? Dilute HCl or dilute HBr or dilute HI or dilute H2SO4 or dilute HNO3 or dilute acetic acid? Which dilute acid shall we add? Now, with the possibilities, if you see, to remove carbonate, we have to add dilute acid. To remove carbonate, we have to add dilute acid. Shall we add dilute HCl or HBr or HI or H2SO4 or HNO3 or acetic acid? Which dilute acid shall we add? Sorry, okay. Sorry, among this, any one of the dilute acid we are adding and we are removing carbonate as carbon dioxide. Okay. So we have to select which dilute acid we have to select. Okay, later we will select any one dilute acid we are selecting and we are removing carbonate. Sorry. Now carbonate is removed in the form of carbon dioxide. To expel out carbon dioxide, we will boil the contents and we will cool the contents. Then the resultant solution will have Cl minus aqueous. Okay. Now this Cl minus aqueous, to test this Cl minus aqueous, we are adding silver nitrate solution. We are getting a AgCl precipitate. This Ag plus and Cl minus gives AgCl precipitate. To this AgCl precipitate, we are adding ammonia. To this AgCl precipitate, we are adding ammonia. To this AgCl precipitate, we are adding ammonia. Now, this AgCl precipitate dissolves in ammonia due to formation of complex. The complex is AgNH3 twice Cl. It is a soluble complex. It is soluble complex we are getting. So, we are taking sodium carbonate extract. We are adding dilute acid. Carbonate is becoming carbon dioxide. We are boiling the contents in order to expel out carbon dioxide. Then we are cooling the contents. After cooling, the resultant solution contains Cl minus. To this, we are adding silver nitrate solution. This Ag plus and Cl minus becomes AgCl white precipitate. This AgCl white precipitate dissolves in ammonia due to formation of complex. Complex is AgNH3 twice Cl. So this complex is a soluble complex. Sir, okay. Now let us see what acid shall we add, what dilute acid shall we add in order to remove excess carbonate present in the sodium carbonate extract. Sir, for which we will see regarding solubilities. We will see regarding solubilities. We will see one is regarding solubilities. We will see one point. We will take that regarding first we will take dilute HCl. Can we add dilute HCl? We are testing Cl minus. Then how to add HCl? We cannot. Sorry. So we cannot add HCl. So we cannot add HCl because we are testing Cl minus. We are testing Cl minus. Then adding HCl means we are adding Cl minus means there is no meaning. Sorry. So we can avoid addition of HCl. Sorry. Can we add HBr? Can we add HBr? That we will see. If we add HBr, what will happen? Here Br minus will be there. That Br minus will give with the silver nitrate will give AgBr precipitate. So we are testing Cl minus, for which we are adding reagent. So reagent should react with the tested anion, not by adding anion. If Br minus consumes silver, then what for Cl minus? Then it is giving precipitate. It is giving precipitate means we will get confusion. Of course, it is white. It is white. It is pale yellow. Even then, we will get confusion. We will get, so we will avoid adding Br, HBr. Then HI. HI shall we add or not? If you add HIA in the resultant solution, I minus will be there. I minus will take Ag plus from AgNO3 and gives AgI. This AgI is yellow precipitate. This yellow precipitate. So this I minus taking Ag plus from silver nitrate. Then for Cl minus, so we have to avoid adding HI. Okay. Regarding sulfuric acid, shall we add dilute sulfuric acid? That we will see. Now, regarding sulfates, if you see regarding sulfates, we'll see. Regarding sulfates, all the metal sulfates, all the metal sulfates are soluble in water. All the metal sulfates are soluble in water. What is the exception? Exception is what? All the metal sulfates are soluble in water, except which metal sulfates? Except now, except which metal sulfates means PbSO4, PbSO4, PbSO4 lead sulfate, then silver sulfate, then aged calcium sulfate, aged calcium sulfate, aged calcium sulfate, then strontium sulfate, next barium sulfate. These are insoluble. So all metal sulfates are soluble in water. What is exception? Lead sulfate, silver sulfate, aged calcium sulfate, strontium sulfate, barium sulfate are insoluble. If you add sulfuric acid, dilute sulfuric acid, this sulfate will take Ag plus and gives Ag2SO4 white precipitate. Here for testing Cl minus, we are getting AgCl white precipitate. This added sulfate is giving white precipitate, in the sense it will give wrong result. What wrong result? You are asking what is that aged calcium sulfate? Aged calcium sulfate means old sample. Old sample. Old sample is called aged calcium sulfate. Okay. Now, we cannot add sulfuric acid. We cannot add because this sulfate and silver becomes a silver sulfate. Silver sulfate is white precipitate, so we cannot add. Next, we will see dilute nitric acid. Dilute nitric acid, if you add here, what will be there? NO3 minus will be there. NO3 minus with Ag plus silver nitrate. Silver nitrate is quite soluble. Therefore, we can add HNO3. Dilute HNO3 we can add. Okay, in the dilute acid in the place, we can add dilute HNO3. Dilute nitric acid we can add. Okay. Next, acetic acid. Can we add dilute acetic acid? That point we'll see. Can we add dilute acetic acid? Now, regarding acetic acid, all the metal acetates, are soluble in water. All the metal acetates are soluble in water. Exception. Here exception is what? Exception is what means silver acetate. Exception is silver acetate and mercurous acetate. Silver acetate and mercurous acetate. These two are exception. All the metal acetates are soluble in water except silver acetate and mercurous acetate. Silver acetate and mercurous acetate are insoluble in water. Therefore, suppose if you add acetic acid, here acetate ion will be there. Acetate ion taking silver and becoming silver acetate, which is white precipitate. Which is white precipitate means it will give, it is interfering with this white precipitate, so that it will give wrong conclusion. So adding acetic acid, we have to avoid. We have to avoid acetic acid. Therefore, in this silver nitrate test for testing Cl minus, in this silver nitrate test for testing Cl minus, we are taking sodium carbonate extract. In the sodium carbonate extract, excess carbonate we are removing by adding dilute acid. Which dilute acid we have to add? Dilute nitric acid we have to add. We cannot add other dilute acids. Even acetic acid also we cannot add because silver acetate is insoluble in water. So we are adding dilute nitric acid to remove excess carbonate. Then we are adding silver nitrate solution to test Cl minus. Cl minus with the silver gives silver chloride white precipitate. White precipitate dissolves in ammonia to give a complex. That complex is AgNH3 twice Cl. So in this silver nitrate test, we are taking sodium carbonate extract. Sodium carbonate extract contains Cl minus ions and carbonate ions. We are adding dilute acid, that is dilute HNO3. Now carbonate is becoming carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is removed by boiling. Then the contents are cooled. The cooled contents we are taking here Cl minus is there. Carbonate is not present. Now this Ag plus takes this Cl minus and becomes AgCl white precipitate. This white precipitate dissolves in ammonia due to formation of complex. Complex is AgNH3 twice Cl. AgNH3 twice Cl. This complex is soluble complex. Okay. It is called silver nitrate test. It is for Cl minus. Okay. We discussed silver nitrate test. It is for Cl minus. Okay. Next, for Cl minus continuation, we'll see. For Cl minus, we'll see continuation. Next test we'll take, that is a MnO2 test, manganese dioxide test. Manganese dioxide test. Okay, we'll go for a manganese dioxide test for chloride. So now we are taking manganese dioxide test. In this test, we are not taking sodium carbonate extract. We are taking the chloride salt directly. We are taking the salt directly. Chloride salt we are taking directly. To this we are adding MnO2 solid. MnO2 is black. MnO2 solid we are adding. Then we are adding concentrated sulfuric acid. Then we are adding concentrated sulfuric acid and the contents are heated. And the contents are heated. Sorry, what will happen to this? Now we will see this chloride salt contains Cl minus and MnO2 contains manganese. MnO2 formula manganese dioxide and concentrated sulfuric acid. Concentrated sulfuric acid. Here manganese is in +4 oxidation state. It undergoes a reduction to Mn+2. Mn+2. Okay. Now we have to remember a point. In acidic medium, manganese, whatever the oxidation number, that will become Mn+2. Manganese, whatever the oxidation number in acidic medium, that will become Mn+2. That means whatever the oxidation number means MnO4 minus. Here manganese is +7. Then MnO4 2 minus. Here manganese is +6. Here MnO2. Here manganese is +4. These are converting into Mn+2 in acidic medium. It can undergo reduction. It is undergoing reduction means in acidic medium Mn+2 only possible. So in MnO2, manganese is +4 oxidation number. This undergoes a reduction into Mn+2 in acidic medium, while Cl minus undergoes oxidation. It oxidizes to give Cl2. It is oxidizing to give Cl2. This Cl2 is a gas. This gas is a greenish yellow color. This gas is greenish yellow color. This gas is passed over starch iodide paper. This starch iodide paper is colorless. It is passed over starch iodide paper. It is colorless. Starch is colorless. Iodide also colorless. How to prepare starch iodide paper? How to prepare starch iodide paper? Let us take water. Let us take starch powder. Both we will mix and we will prepare, like what means we will both we will mix with each other. Let us make them to mix each other. Starch powder is mixed with water. First you add some water into starch powder, make it as a paste, then go on add water. Then starch powder mixes with water thoroughly. Then boil the contents, then cool the contents, then filter it. What you will get means starch solution. You will get a starch solution you will get. So how you are preparing starch solution? Starch powder you are taking, to this you are adding water, and you are making this into a paste. So you are making starch paste with water. Then add further water. What happens? This starch powder dissolves in water and becomes a solution. Now it is boiled and cooled and filtered. The filtrate is called a starch solution. The filtrate is called a starch solution. To this starch solution, add potassium iodide solution. Potassium iodide solution. You will get a starch iodide solution. You are getting starch iodide solution. Starch iodide solution. Starch solution is colorless. Potassium iodide crystals also colorless. Therefore, starch iodide solution also colorless. Now you take filter paper, dip filter paper into the starch iodide solution, then dry the filter paper. You will get a starch iodide paper which is colorless. Sorry. Now we got starch iodide paper. This chlorine gas is passed over starch iodide paper. Now this paper becomes a blue color. Now this greenish yellow gas, Cl2 is passed over starch iodide paper. This starch iodide paper is colorless. This starch iodide paper becomes blue. Why is it so? Starch iodide paper becomes blue. Why is it so? Because this iodide I minus with this Cl2, what happens means Cl2 is converting into Cl minus, I minus is converting into iodine. Now this starch is a polymer. This polymer is like this will be present. Like the polymer is present in the form of a spiral ring. In the inside the spiral ring, empty gap will be there. In the empty gap, iodine occupies. Iodine occupies the empty gap. Therefore, now it is called starch iodine complex. It is called starch iodine complex. It is having blue color. So we will get blue color. This is a MnO2 test. So in this MnO2 test, you are not taking sodium carbonate extract. Remember, generally confirmatory test means we will take sodium carbonate extract. In some places we will not take sodium carbonate extract. So far we discussed some of the anions. In the nitrite NO2 minus, we have taken water extract. That means salt we dissolved in water, and water extract we have taken. We did not take sodium carbonate extract. Okay. In this, it is chloride test. In this chloride test, we are doing MnO2 test. For MnO2 test also, we are not taking sodium carbonate extract. We are taking chloride salt, solid salt directly. Directly salt we are taking. Okay. So MnO2 test, we have taken chloride salt. To this chloride salt, we are adding MnO2 and corn sulfuric acid, and it is heated. What happens? This manganese plus 4 undergoes a reduction to Mn plus 2. Cl minus undergoes oxidation to Cl2. Cl2 is having greenish yellow color. The Cl2 greenish yellow color gas is passed over starch iodide paper, which is colorless. The starch iodide paper becomes blue. Okay, this is MnO2 test. Next, in the chloride test, another test we will see. For chloride, another test we will see, that is called chromyl chloride test. That is called chromyl chloride test. Chromyl chloride test. Okay. So to do this chromyl chloride test, we are taking chloride salt directly. We are taking chloride salt directly. We are not taking sodium carbonate extract. So chloride salt directly we are taking. To this we are adding potassium dichromate crystals. Remember that we are adding crystals. We are not adding solution. Potassium dichromate solid we are adding. We are not adding solution. So chloride salt is solid. Potassium dichromate also solid. Then we are adding concentrated sulfuric acid. Concentrated sulfuric acid we are adding, and the contents are heated. Now what the now red vapors are produced. Red vapors are produced. This red vapors passed into sodium hydroxide solution. Passed into sodium hydroxide solution. Now sodium hydroxide solution is colorless. This colorless solution with this red vapors becomes a yellow colored solution. Yellow colored solution. To this, in this yellow colored solution, some unreacted sodium hydroxide will be there. In order to neutralize that unreacted sodium hydroxide, we are adding dilute acid. Due to this dilute acid, unreacted sodium hydroxide neutralized completely. Next, we are adding lead acetate solution. Lead acetate solution. Now, due to addition of lead acetate solution, we are getting a yellow precipitate. We are getting yellow precipitate. This test is called a chromyl chloride test. Okay. Now, how to do this test? We will see. Now, we will take two test tubes. We will take in one test tube. In one test tube, we will take chloride salt, potassium dichromate salt, corn sulfuric acid. We will take in one test tube. That test tube we will keep like this. That test tube we placed like this. It is one test tube. In this test tube, what we have taken? Chloride salt. Chloride salt we have taken. Potassium dichromate solid we have taken. Corn sulfuric acid we have taken. This test tube we are keeping in an inclined way like this. Okay. We will take another test tube now. We are taking another test tube. That another test tube also inclined way it is placed like this. Inclined way it is placed like this in another test tube. Now these two test tubes should be held using two test tube holders. With one test tube holder, you are holding this test tube. With another test tube holder, you are holding this test tube. In this test tube, we are taking a sodium hydroxide solution. Sodium hydroxide solution which is colorless. Okay. So using one test tube holder, you are holding this test tube. Using another test tube holder, you are holding this test tube. Okay. Two test tube mouths should be in contact like this. Then these contents are heated. The contents are heated. Now what happens means a red vapors produced. That red vapors produced coming like this mixing with the sodium hydroxide solution. Okay. Now see that you are taking this chloride salt here and potassium dichromate solid here, concentrated sulfuric acid here. The contents are boiled. From this, what is coming out? Red vapors are coming out. That red vapors are passed into this sodium hydroxide solution. Now the red vapors are mixing with the sodium hydroxide solution. Okay. Now red vapors mixed with the sodium hydroxide solution. Okay. Red vapors contains what substance? Red vapors contains what substance? CrO2Cl2. This is called a chromyl chloride. This is only red vapors. This red vapors is nothing but a chromyl chloride. This red vapors, this red vapors is nothing but chromyl chloride. So we are getting chromyl chloride vapors. Chromyl chloride vapors. This chromyl chloride with the sodium hydroxide solution becomes sodium chromate. Sodium chromate which is yellow color, yellow solution. Sodium chromate is yellow solution. Think all the alkali metal salts are quite soluble in water. So sodium chromate is dissolved in water. Sodium chromate is dissolved in water. It is yellow color. Okay. So here red vapors are chromyl chloride. This chromyl chloride combining with the sodium hydroxide solution and becoming sodium chromate. Sodium chromate formula Na2CrO4 which is yellow color. So yellow color we are getting. Here how you have taken sodium hydroxide? See, in this test tube you have taken sodium hydroxide. Here chromyl chloride is producing. That chromyl chloride you are passing here. Now which should be excess? Chromyl chloride should be excess or sodium hydroxide should be excess? What shall we say? Which solution, which one should be excess? We have to think. Shall we think sodium hydroxide solution excess or shall we think chromyl chloride excess? Which shall we think excess? Shall we take chromyl chloride as excess or sodium hydroxide as excess? Which shall we take? Better take sodium hydroxide is excess. Sodium hydroxide solution you take excess because this we are taking, this is producing. Therefore, we do not know how much it will produce. So better you take sodium hydroxide solution excess. So you are taking this is excess means this chromyl chloride is reacting completely. So sodium hydroxide some amount remaining will be there. Why sodium hydroxide is remaining? Because we have taken this is sodium hydroxide excess. You are taking sodium hydroxide excess because we do not know how much red vapors will be produced. Sir, you are taking sodium hydroxide excess. So chromyl chloride is reacting completely and becoming sodium chromate. So remaining sodium hydroxide will be present in this solution. So remaining sodium hydroxide, you are neutralizing completely with dilute acid. Remaining sodium hydroxide, you are neutralizing completely with the dilute acid. Then you are adding lead acetate solution. Now this lead acetate solution with sodium chromate gives lead chromate which is yellow precipitate. lead chromate, that is yellow precipitate. Yellow precipitate you are getting. Yellow precipitate is a lead chromate. Sir, if yellow precipitate is a lead chromate, we are getting. This is a chromyl chloride test. Here, why to neutralize sodium hydroxide solution? Why to neutralize excess sodium hydroxide solution? Here, excess sodium hydroxide will be there. No, to neutralize excess sodium hydroxide, we are adding dilute acid. Why to neutralize excess sodium hydroxide? If we do not neutralize, what will happen? What will happen means this lead will take this hydroxide and becomes a plumbous hydroxide precipitate. This lead will take this hydroxide and becomes PbOH twice precipitate. That PbOH twice precipitate means the Pb2 plus is consumed by hydroxide. So how to convert chromate into lead chromate? And that lead hydroxide precipitate and here precipitate means we will get a confusion. So that to avoid that confusion, lead hydroxide formation should be avoided. How to avoid formation of lead hydroxide? Neutralize sodium hydroxide completely before adding lead acetate. So we have to remove sodium hydroxide completely before adding lead acetate. So how to remove? By neutralizing. To neutralize sodium hydroxide, what we have to do? We have to add dilute acid. Sir, dilute acid, which shall we add? Can we add HCl? Which dilute acid we have to add? That we will see. Now, which dilute acid? So dilute acid is which one? Shall we add dilute HCl? Shall we add dilute HCl? If we add dilute HCl, this Pb with Cl minus gives PbCl to white precipitate. So we have to avoid. Sir. Then dilute HBr. Then we will see dilute HBr. If you add dilute HBr, Pb with Br minus gives PbBr to precipitate. So we have to avoid. Dilute HI, shall we add dilute HI? Pb with I minus gives PbI to precipitate. So we are avoiding this. Okay. Then shall we add dilute sulfuric acid? Dilute sulfuric acid. This Pb2 plus with the sulfate gives PbSO4 white precipitate. So we are avoiding. Sorry. Shall we add a dilute nitric acid? Shall we add dilute nitric acid? In dilute nitric acid shall we add or not? If you add dilute nitric acid, Pb and nitrate becomes lead nitrate. Lead nitrate is quite soluble. Lead nitrate is quite soluble. All the nitrates are quite soluble. So we will think about this dilute nitric acid. Then we will add another possibility, dilute acetic acid. Shall we add dilute acetic acid? Okay. Now shall we add dilute acetic acid or not? That we will see. Now we will take a lead acetate solution. How to prepare that we will see. We will take lead acetate solid. To this what is added means water is added. Now we are taking lead acetate. To that we are adding water. We are adding water. Then what we are adding water, lead acetate dissolves. Then we are adding acetic acid. Then we are adding acetic acid. Lead acetate solubility increases. Lead acetate solubility increases. So how we are preparing lead acetate solution? Lead acetate solution in the sense we are dissolving lead acetate in dilute acetic acid solution. We are dissolving lead acetate in dilute acetic acid solution while solubility of lead acetate is high. While solubility of lead acetate is high. Why is it so? Because of formation of complex. The complex is a lead tetraacetate, lead tetraacetate ion. Therefore only we are adding acetic acid. So how to prepare lead acetate? You see that lead acetate solution. Lead acetate solution is prepared by dissolving lead acetate solid in dilute acetic acid solution. While the solubility of lead acetate will be high due to formation of complex. So how we are preparing lead acetate solution? You got an idea. So lead acetate solution, how we are preparing? Lead acetate solution is prepared in dilute acetic acid. So here what acid, dilute acid we can add? One possibility is dilute acetic acid. If we add dilute acetic acid, what happens? This sodium hydroxide combines with acetic acid. This sodium hydroxide combines with acetic acid to give what we will see. So this sodium hydroxide combines with acetic acid to give sodium acetate, to give sodium acetate, to give sodium acetate in and water. Okay. So sodium acetate and water is produced. If we add dilute acetic acid in this place, this excess sodium hydroxide reacting with this acetic acid and becomes sodium acetate. So sodium acetate contains acetate ions. This lead acetate with acetate ions, what happens? Lead acetate with acetate ions forms complex. So solubility of lead acetate increases. Solubility of lead acetate increases. Therefore, due to addition of acetic acid due to addition of acetic acid, sodium hydroxide is neutralizing, and we are getting sodium acetate. That sodium acetate increases this solubility. Increases this solubility. Increases this solubility in the sense lead acetate is freely dissolved in water. Therefore, therefore we will get from this freely dissolved. So from this solution we are getting lead ion. This lead ion is combining with the chromate and gives lead chromate yellow precipitate. So this indicates that we can add dilute acetic acid. We can add dilute acetic acid. We can add. Okay. Can we add dilute nitric acid? That is the question. Can we add dilute nitric acid? Is it interfering in any way? Is it interfering in any way? That point we have to see. If we add the nitric acid, what will happen? Can we add dilute nitric acid? That point we have to see. Dilute nitric acid, if we add, what happens? That point we'll see. Dilute nitric acid. Dilute nitric acid, if you add sodium hydroxide neutralizing, so we are getting sodium nitrate. Sodium nitrate is not affecting lead acetate or lead chromate, yellow precipitate, no other way. So we can add dilute nitric acid. Out of dilute nitric acid and dilute acetic acid, which is better in the sense dilute acetic acid is better. Why dilute acetic acid better? Because it increases the solubility of lead acetate. Therefore, better we are adding dilute acetic acid. So here in this chromyl chloride test, at last we are adding dilute acid. Which dilute acid means dilute acetic acid. Okay, we came for conclusion. Dilute acetic acid is the conclusion. Okay. So chromyl chloride test. In chromyl chloride test, we are taking chloride salt solid. To this, we are adding solid potassium dichromate and concentrated sulfuric acid, and it is heated. Red vapors are coming. Red vapors are called chromyl chloride, CrO2, Cl2. Red vapors passed into sodium hydroxide solution. This colorless solution becomes yellow colored solution due to formation of sodium chromate. Then here excess sodium hydroxide is neutralized by adding dilute acetic acid. Then lead acetate is added. Lead acetate with this yellow colored solution becomes yellow precipitate. Yellow precipitate is called a lead chromate, PbCrO4. This test is called a chromyl chloride test. So confirmatory test for Cl minus. Confirmatory test for Cl minus, one test is silver nitrate test. Silver nitrate test. For this we are taking sodium carbonate extract. Next test is MnO2 test. In this MnO2 test, we are taking a chloride salt. Chloride salt solid we are taking. Chloride salt directly we are taking. We are not taking sodium carbonate extract. Next test is chromyl chloride test. Chromyl chloride test. For this chromyl chloride test, we are taking chloride salt directly. We are taking chloride salt directly. We are not taking sodium carbonate extract. We are not taking sodium carbonate extract. So for silver nitrate test, we are taking sodium carbonate extract. For MnO2 test, we are taking chloride salt directly, not sodium carbonate extract. For chromyl chloride test, we are taking chloride salt directly, not sodium carbonate extract. So in this chloride confirmatory test, here we are taking sodium carbonate extract, but in these two cases, sodium carbonate extract we are not taking. Okay. Next, we will do confirmatory test for bromide. Confirmatory test for bromide we will see. Confirmatory test for bromide. Okay. For this, let us take sodium carbonate extract. We are taking sodium carbonate extract. Sodium carbonate extract contains Br minus aqueous and excess carbonate aqueous. To this, we are adding dilute HCl, dilute acid. Dilute acid we are taking in order to remove carbonate as carbon dioxide. So we are removing carbonate as carbon dioxide. Okay. Then we are adding silver nitrate solution. We are adding silver nitrate solution. Now what happens means Br minus and Ag plus becomes AgBr yellow precipitate, AgBr pale yellow precipitate, AgBr pale yellow precipitate we are getting. Okay. To this pale yellow precipitate, we are adding aqueous ammonia. We are adding aqueous ammonia. AgBr dissolves partially. AgBr dissolves partially. AgBr dissolves partially. If we add concentrated ammonia, if we add AgBr dissolves completely. AgBr dissolves completely due to formation of complex. The complex is AgNH3 twice Br. AgNH3 twice Br. It is a soluble complex. Okay, see that AgBr is partially soluble in aqueous ammonia, but AgBr is soluble completely in concentrated ammonia. The solubility is due to formation of complex. Complex is AgNH3 twice Br. Okay, so in this sodium carbonate extract, we are adding dilute acid. Which dilute acid we have to add? As like chloride only, therefore we have to add dilute nitric acid. So in what way we discussed for chloride, which dilute acid? In the same way here also, because Cl minus Br minus same manner is there, same group. So we are adding dilute nitric acid. So carbonate is removed in the form of carbon dioxide. Then AgNO3 solution is added. This Ag plus takes this Br minus and becomes AgBr. AgBr is pale yellow precipitate. It is partially soluble in aqueous ammonia but completely soluble in concentrated ammonia. The solubility is due to formation of complex. Okay. So this is a silver nitrate test. It is this silver nitrate test is for what one means Br minus. Next test we will see. Next test for Br minus. Next test for Br minus is a MnO2 test. MnO2 test. Now we will take bromide salt solid. We will take bromide salt solid. To this we will add MnO2 solid. MnO2 solid. Then we will add concentrated sulfuric acid. We will add concentrated sulfuric acid. Then the contents are boiled. Now in the bromide salt Br minus, from the MnO2 we are taking, and acid H plus we are taking. In the MnO2, manganese plus 4 is converting into manganese plus 2. Br minus is undergoing oxidation and gives Br2, bromine Br2. This bromine is having reddish brown color. It is pungent smell. It is passed into starch solution. This bromine gas is passed into starch solution. The starch solution is becoming orange yellow color. The starch solution becoming orange yellow color, orange yellow solution. Okay, so here bromide Br minus, MnO2 solid, acid H plus, manganese plus 4 is undergoing reduction and becomes Mn plus 2, Br minus undergoing oxidation and becomes Br2. Br2 is having reddish brown color and it is a pungent smell. This bromine is passed into starch solution. We are getting the starch solution is colorless. The colorless solution becomes orange yellow. Okay. Next, in the bromide, next test we will see, that is chlorine water test. We are seeing chlorine water test. Chlorine water test we will see. Chlorine water test. For this, we are taking sodium carbonate extract. The sodium carbonate extract contains the given anion Br minus and carbonate. Br minus and carbonate will be there. Now we are removing carbonate in the form of carbon dioxide. By adding dilute acid. So by adding dilute acid, carbonate is removed in the form of carbon dioxide gas. So after removing this carbonate as carbon dioxide gas, the solution contains Br